Hello and welcome back. We're actually at the entrance to my allotment today because I'm going to start on a new feature, and I've decided I want to grow a climbing rose from here up and over my gate, and it's a really beautiful soft pink rose bought from David Austin Roses, and it's called the Generous Gardener. Now, if you saw my February tidy up video, I found this planter which doesn't have a base. So what I've actually already done is I've dug over the ground here, cleared a bit of soil, and I've removed some of the ivy and the brambles that were down there. But I'm going to put it in a pot, and then the roots can go down into the ground. So there's the pot. What I'm going to do now is fill it with a mixture of multi-purpose compost and some manure as well, and what that'll do is help retain all of the moisture, and it'll feed the rose as well, because roses are quite hungry plants. Now, I've added lots of manure into the multi-purpose compost, but I'm also going to add some of my soil. This is just my allotment soil, and I'm going to add it into the mix because it includes all those micronutrients that perhaps don't exist in the compost that I've bought, and it'll just bring some more life into the mix. Now that the compost is all mixed, it's time to plant my bareroot rose, and this is what a bareroot rose looks like when you order it. It arrives just like this, so it's important that if you're not able to put it in the ground or somewhere straight away, that you either dip it in a bucket of water or plant it in a temporary pot of compost until you're ready to plant it. Otherwise the roots will dry out and it will die. So this is a really good quality bareroot rose. I've got 4 shoots already, and I can see the buds here where new shoots will appear. So I'm going to plant this into the compost with the shoots going in the direction that I want them to grow in. I'm now going to sprinkle some of this mycorrhizal fungi over the roots of the rose, and what this basically does, I don't quite know the science behind it, but it makes this really happy relationship between the roots and the soil, and they work together, and the rose will then take up all the nutrients and the water, and it really helps give it a good start. So taking the rose over the hole that I've dug out, I'm going to sprinkle over the fungi onto the roots so that anything that doesn't stick to the roots actually falls into the hole where it's going to be planted. So as I put the rose into the hole, it's really important to make sure that you're firming down the soil as you go, and that's to make sure there's always contact between the soil and the roots, and also that's why we're going to water it in later, just to make sure that there's no air pockets. Now, I've planted it nice and deep. I just want to make sure that that crown there is actually below the surface of the soil, so I'm just going to top it up with a mixture of more compost and well rotted manure. I will be underplanting this with something, I'm not quite sure what yet, but we'll see when the time comes. I know it's going to take a few years before the rose actually climbs its way all the way up and over my gate, but in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy watching it grow. I'll probably give it another feed next month of bloodfish and bone to help it get going. But the scent is going to be phenomenal, and I just can't wait to step through my gate like the secret garden, and first you go through the ivy and then you're hit with the roses and that scent, so it's going to be gorgeous, and I'm just going to enjoy watching it grow over the next few years. Now all that's left to do is to give the plant a very good watering in, and I'll continue to make sure this is well watered over the next few months and throughout the growing season.